Good evening, my lovelies. There you are. Me. I see you guys already. I hope everybody is doing well. I see Vicky. I see Sashina. Uh, Sashina, I played around a little bit with Streamlabs earlier today, so there may be some surprises for all of us. Uh, the slots is not going to be different. Just warning you. But the other stuff I did tickle a little bit, let's say. Tin Man, welcome. Um, Also, I added the Magic 8 Ball and a few other things, so we'll see how that goes. We can sort of consider this like a casino test night. So, ladies and gentlemen, step right up for Court Casino or Casino Court, whatever we should call it. I hope you're having a wonderful day. It is it Sunday? It's Sunday, August 27th. You know, Sashina, I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't look at the document yet. I got in there to do one thing and then I did a few different things. I don't know if the command is Magic 8. Like, it's its own game. I'll have to look up what the actual command is for it, Sashina. It's pretty fun though. You like ask it a question. I literally dipped in there to do one thing and then I managed to do a couple quick things before we got started. Um, we are going to be watching some court tonight. But I will look at it, Sashina. Rest assured. It will help. And thank you again for that. So we are going to be watching some court tonight. We actually have a fresh, hot off the presses, bond court with Big D, dismissal Dan down in Clayton County. Uh, so we are going to watch that. I obviously have not watched it yet. What else? We have a couple other things on the docket, if you will. Thank you so much, Sashina. It is very warm here today. That's a great reminder. Let's do our lesson for the day. So, as most of you already know, especially those here this early, I am Canadian and we work in Celsius. So, currently, the temperature is Celsius 22 degrees. Feels like 22. That's a lie. Feels like 28. And mostly sunny. So 22 into Fahrenheit or American is 71. And now people are going to be like, oh, that's very cool. It's not. It's very hot. We don't even have fans in our house. Okay? Speaking of the fan, I need to fix that. So, what we're going to do. Oh, your son's birthday's today? 32, Vicky? That's awesome. I'm only 3 years older than him. Um, That's so awesome, Vicky. I'm hoping that he had a good birthday. I'm reminding everybody to check in with people when it's their birthday, even if you don't have Facebook. I don't have Facebook now. Like I do, but I don't. Like I don't use it anymore. Sorry. Sometimes. And then 71 is hot for here, but I realized that especially when I was in Houston, where it was literally 115 degrees, and I was like, oh, wow. Okay, this is real heat. But we're not prepared here. Nobody's home. They're insulated to maintain heat, or they're built to maintain heat quite a bit. And so that's what happens most of the time. Also, oh, Sashina, you got it. 8 Ball, why? The answer is within yourself. Lol. I love it. Oh, it's gonna be fun. It's exclamation mark 8 Ball and then your question, right? So 70, search first box says 71 Fahrenheit in Florida, and we get worried if the heat cycle on the heat pump works. Oh gosh, that's crazy. Oh, guys, please go ahead and clock in for your shift by hitting the like button. We have a little ways to go to make it to 500, and we're working on it, so I appreciate that. That really helps. Tin Man says the only thing in you is tacos. 8 Ball Kitch question mark. Oh, please be the one. I hope it works because I want to see what the answer is too. Hello, hello, hello. What's going on? We're about to head to Clayton County, where I love Clayton County. I know Presto's embarrassed about it. It's okay, Presto. Uh, and I'm complaining about the weather, and I'm doing my daily American lesson because I will be traveling to the States again soon, and I want to be even more prepared and like able to converse like that's a problem. I'm quite verbose, we would say. Anyways, you guys, let me get this on. Hi, Hector. Um, thank you. Search for a spot. I am saying 71 degrees is too hot when you don't have a fan and you don't have a air conditioning or even like anything. And you ran stupidly. Sorry.
All right, we're good there. Okay, cool. All right, the time is 11:07. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Clayton County Magistrate Court first appearance. Today is August the 27th. The time is 11:07 a.m. I'm Judge Daniel Nagel. I'm going to go over some information with you before I speak with each one of you individually about your case and what is going to take place today. First and foremost, I want to let you know that this is an informative hearing. This is not an evidentiary hearing. What that means is this is not a place where evidence is going to be presented by you nor the prosecuting party. All right. So this is not a hearing where you're going to tell your side of the story. This is not a part of a hearing where you're going to present any evidence or any witnesses or any statements or physical evidence or anything like that. So just keep that in mind when we are speaking. Don't talk to me about the facts and circumstances of your case and what your defenses are, because it is being recorded. And so law enforcement can go back and take what you say and potentially use that against you. What will happen is I'm going to inform you of the nature of the charges against you, whether they are misdemeanors or felonies or a mixture of both, what your bond amounts are if you are getting a bond on certain charges, if you have any special conditions of those bonds, your next court date, and which will be your preliminary hearing. Now, at that hearing, if you do not bond out, then that is an evidentiary hearing. There you can have witnesses, make the state call witnesses to prove beyond a preponderance of evidence whether or not there is or probable cause, whether there is enough evidence to move forward. But that's not going to be today. All right. Lastly, I'll ask if you want to hire your own attorney.
Tin Man, you should know that. You need to submit a discovery request in writing and file that in the e-file system with the court. And within 21 business days, you will be provided with a list of commands. Come on now.
Or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. You also have the option to represent yourself, but I do not recommend that because you will be held to the same standard as an attorney. All right. Lastly, I will ask if you have any questions. But if your questions are not limited to what are my charges, when is my next court date, what is my bond, and do I have any special conditions of my bond, I'm probably not going to be able to help you. Every single time somebody wants to talk to me about the facts and circumstances of their case, I'm not going to allow that. So I'm probably going to cut you off. So pay attention right now. Don't talk to me about what your defense is. Save that conversation between you and your lawyer. Some general things that people ask me that come up all the time. What's the process for bonding out? I'm not I cannot give you legal advice. What I can give you some general guidelines. Typically, a bonding company charges somewhere between 10 and 20%. Okay, that's not a law. That's not a rule. That's just general knowledge based on me being a lawyer for the past over a decade in the Clayton County area. Okay, so for example, if your bond is $1,000, the typical bonding company is going to be somewhere between $100 and $200. For every 1,000, you just go up another $100 or $200. Okay. I cannot tell you what the bonding procedures are, what they require, whether it can be yourself, a friend, a family member, how long they have to be residents, or any of those things. I do not know. Okay, so please don't ask me those questions because I'm not going to be able to help you. It's not that I don't want to help you, it's that I just don't know. Okay. Also, special conditions of bond. The most common types of special conditions are stay away from a certain person. If I say do not have contact with a certain person, guess what that means? Do not have any contact with them. That means calling them.
Okay, and here's one of the fun parts about Judge Dismissal Dan is he is very like broad in this part, but he really zones in or zooms in, I guess, on when he gives specific instructions to people. Um, Excellent. Oh, I see an official request, a discovery request in the chat. That will be acknowledged, Tim, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Sashina's first day back at work is tomorrow. Oh my goodness. We're gonna have to have, they don't even give you the Monday off. What the fuck? See, there's another problem with the United States, okay? When you start school back in September after Labor Day weekend, everybody gets that one extra Monday. That one last try at all those summer goals. Everything you wanted to do that summer, you could still do it on that Monday. You know? You still could. Hi, Denali Mike. Welcome, welcome. I hope you're doing well. Um, yeah. Also, the casino is open tonight for heists, for all those fun things. So join in, ask questions if you have any. We do our best to try and answer them. And oh, Sashina gets next Friday off, and then next Monday too. Yeah, and now don't get me started, Sashina, because I love you, about teachers spending all their time not. They plan a lot of professional development days here. That's what they do. I'm all for, like, how about y'all work the whole year, but you get most of the summer off and totally off of kids, but you do all that like Pro D stuff in the summer.
Texting them, WhatsApp, Instagram, Kik, Twitter, Facebook Messenger, or any other creative way that you think that you can have contact with this person, don't do it. If you do have contact with that person, you're violating the conditions of your bond, which could lead to more charges. And guess what? If you come back on that charge, guess what a judge is not likely going to do? Grant you a bond, because you've already shown that you can't obey by the bond conditions on certain charges. Okay. Another type of special condition is to stay away from a certain location. Guess what? Very simple. Do not go back to that location. Sometimes it is a residence where you may have your personal belongings. It may be even your own residence. Okay. A lot of times, unfortunately, if it is a matter of domestic violence or a domestic dispute, I have to order people not to go back to their own residence. Don't argue with me about it. It's not something that you're going to win. However, if it is a residence in which you have certain belongings, I can put in your bond paperwork that you are allowed to go back there and get your stuff until either A, your case is resolved, or B, your attorney files a motion to change the bond conditions to allow you back into that residence. But until that happens, you cannot go back there. The way that you get your belongings is either A, you can have someone go and get your belongings for you, right? But you cannot go back there. Or B, as it says on the bond paperwork, you can go get your stuff, but you have to use the sheriff's office. They will go with you to make sure that no harm comes to you, no harm comes to other people, and no harm comes to your neighbors and the general public in Clayton County. Okay, it's very important that you do not violate that bond condition because, like I said before, you could pick up more charges and likely find yourself in the Clayton County Jail without a bond. All right. Your next court date is going to be a preliminary hearing. For those of you who have felony offenses, it's going to be September the 25th. If you have nothing but misdemeanors, it will be September the 26th. If you bond out, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. All right. You will get a notice of your next court date in the mail.
I'll paddle Melanie.
So you want to make sure that your address is up to date with the clerk's office and the sheriff's department. Okay. If you do not bond out, that will be your next court date where you can have an evidentiary hearing, or your attorney can work with the prosecuting office to work out a bond or potentially a resolution of your case. Okay. Lastly, again, I will ask if you want to be considered for a court-appointed attorney. You all should have been given an application. Hopefully you filled that out, because if you didn't, I can only assume that you have hired your own attorney or will hire your own attorney. And then if you change your mind, we can always accommodate you, but I may have to ask you questions because there are guidelines as it relates to qualifying for court-appointed attorney. Okay. Let's see. Oh, sometimes there is a delay between when I'm speaking and when you hear me, and then when you speak and when I hear you. So when I am talking to you directly, just make sure you give it a second to make sure that I am done speaking, and I will do the same. That way we're not talking over each other, and it just slows everything down. Okay, so wait for me to finish speaking and then you can speak. Make sure you speak loudly and clearly, and make sure you use words like yes instead of yeah, and no instead of nah or or anything like that, because again, this is being recorded. Want to make sure that we get the correct response from you. Okay. Lastly, don't ask me about signature bonds or OR bonds or reconnaissance bonds. I have already made that determination, so I have already assumed that everyone has asked me for that. So please don't waste your time, the jail's time, or my time by asking me for that. Now, before we begin with the female side, I just need everyone to participate by raising their right hand, please. All right. Do you swear or affirm that the statements you make shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? You can say, I do.
I do.
Okay,
I do.
very good. So we'll start with the female side first, and then we'll move to the male side. Okay. What's your name, ma'am?
Ivan Ballard. No, sir, I'm the actor.
Oh, Miss Ballard. Okay.
Yeah.
Give me just a moment. Okay, Miss Ballard, you were charged with one misdemeanor count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce, and one, looks like one felony count of violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act. I am gonna, on the misdemeanor charge, the bond is $1,000. On the felony charge, the bond is $3,000. So your total bond is $4,000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Your next court date is going to be on September the 25th. However, if you bond out, like I said, you do not need to appear for that particular court date. You don't have any other special conditions of your bond other than to not violate the law while you're out. Okay. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
Okay. Let me see here. All right, I will grant that request. Do you have any questions about your case, Miss Ballard?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Miss Ballard. Good luck to you.
Thank you. You can pen. Next. Good morning, Your Honor, sir.
All right. Good morning. What's your name, ma'am?
Eunice Bell.
Okay, Miss Bell.
Yes, sir.
Oh, All right, Ms. Bell, you were charged with 1 count of criminal damage to property in the 2nd degree. I'm dismissing the charge against you.
Thank you.
Now and I should have made this announcement, but I'll just tell you. I'm dismissing the charge because I don't believe there's enough evidence against you. It looks like this is an incident with a spouse. I don't know if this is spousal property or not. You as a spouse, you have the right to destroy your own stuff, and it's not clear that it's not your stuff. So I can't say that you didn't do that. Certain judges may disagree with that evaluation, but that's the evaluation that I have come to. Now, the state does have, I believe the statute of limitations is 4 years on a felony charge to bring these charges back if they decide to provide more information. I don't know if they will. I don't know if they won't. I'm not going to tell them to. I'm not going to tell them not to. It's none of my business. That's not my role. I just play referee. Okay. Now, with that being said, obviously you are someone that, it's a silly reason to be here, and you're old enough to know better and to behave in a certain way. You're a grown up, obviously. And I understand that, look, sometimes people get on your nerves and make you mad and things like that, but you have to, be a grown up and deal with them in a proper way to where you don't find yourself where you are right now. Because I imagine this is not where you want to be, correct?
No, sir.
I understand. Okay. All right. Well, as long as you don't get yourself into any trouble while you're there and there's no other reason to keep you, if you'll just let us process that paperwork, you'll be free to go, and just make sure we never see you in this circumstance again. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, Ms. Bell.
Thank you. Next.
Oh my gosh, that reminded me, I forgot to start the betting. We were supposed to have a fucking bet. Hang on. I'm gonna crackle up here for a minute. Here's what's gonna happen. I'm gonna attempt to do some computering. It's going to make things slow for a minute. Handle it. Okay? It's worth it. I'm gonna cuckle up. Yeah, right. I'm gonna crackle up. It always happens. I was supposed to start a wager, and there was all these bets we were gonna make, and it was about how many times he was dismissing, and now I've already fucked it up because he already did one. Here we go. Almost. It's 2 seconds. Betting. Start bet. Okay. I hope something happens with that. Do I have to add a bet on here? Oh no, it's in the chat. I saw it in the chat. I saw it in the chat. Okay, we're almost ready to just go back to.
All right. What's your name, ma'am?
Chapman, first name Shannon, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Chapman, give me just a second. All right, Ms. Chapman, you are charged with 1 count of public drunkenness, which is a misdemeanor. The bond is $1,000. Misdemeanor count criminal trespass. Misdemeanor, the bond is $1,000. So your total bond is $2,000. Okay. Are you going to be able to make that bond?
I'm going to try. I received a number for Bell's bondsman, so.
Okay. All right. Got it. All right. Your next court date is going to be on September the 26th, but you'll probably not be there. So if you bond out, you don't have to appear for that particular court date. Okay. You do have the right to have a court appointed, to be considered for a court appointed attorney, or hire your own attorney. What would you like to do?
A court appointed, Your Honor.
Okay. Let me see.
That's funny. You saw them coming from a kilometer away. As we all know, I'm Canadian. We should add miles and kilometers to what we are learning as well. Um, sorry. Let's keep going. Guys, in the chat, I think how you bet is by going exclamation mark BET and then space and then the number that you want to bet how many dismissals he does today. I'm already helping out because he's already done one. And Search for Spock, you mentioned that Bob Barker passed away yesterday. Yes, he did. I did a little bit of sadness yesterday, a little bit. But in reality, we're going to honor him. I'm going to make a live version of some of the games to play. People have already sent me them to my office. Thank you very much. So we will honor Bob Barker. And it was Grim yesterday who said first that he got to 99, which is close to 100 or $1 as you can get without going over. So that's awesome. Do we win when we're right, Sashina? I would say, yeah. We should always win when we're right, especially when I can give the points. But we won't be closing these bets until the end of the night, so you can change your bet, I guess. I don't know actually how that one works because this is like official. Huh. Usually I just say enter as many bets as you want. Well, I'm gonna continue to say that. Who fucking cares? But yeah. We'll see what happens. Also, if you've just got here and I haven't said hi, hi. Oh, hi, Bruce. I think I saw what you were gonna have for dinner. Um, Beverly's here. That's right. Yeah. Anyways, uh, the gambling and the heist all odds have been changed as well. So enjoy that for tonight. They may change again, but for tonight they're pretty good. So if I can encourage you to gamble on a single night, tonight would probably be it to begin with. So enjoy that and let's keep going. How do Canadian McDonald's, how long do they take to make chicken McNuggets? Well, I don't think I've ever gotten them fresh. They take longer to process orders than to make nuggies. Let's put it that way. It's not the nuggies they're making that take time. It's the processing of orders with short staff or not the correct staffing placement. We've talked about this before. I have a real problem with the Wendy's in my town because they have a drive-through setup that's specific. I can tell somebody probably paid a lot of money, was paid to think up how they could process multiple orders at once with just one fucking box, but yet the employees refuse to do that. When you pull up to the box, when there's space, they'll be like, "Can you hold, please?" And you're like, "Yeah, I have to. I've been sitting here for 25 minutes. I've easily sat in drive-throughs for like an hour before. It's horrible here. So nuggies probably take the exact same amount of time to make. And nowadays the best part is you can just walk in and get your food, and that's the best way to do it. Order online and then pick it up yourself. Yeah, that's all I can recommend. I don't go to McDonald's very often. But I'll tell you that they used to be very good at like producing food very quickly, and now they're less so. And it's only because yeah, their staffing levels, all that kind of stuff. But I do love me some chicken nuggies, and what I dip them in. Does anybody want to guess that? I'll let you guys guess that while we watch this. And the beans were delicious. Thank you, Bruce, for asking.
Okay, it says here that you served in the military before. Is that-
I'm currently active duty.
Oh, I see. Gotcha. Okay. I'm going to put that on there. I believe that the court system has some resources for military folks. So I'm putting that on there so it's very clearly marked for you. And maybe as your case proceeds through the court system, they'll notice that for you. Okay. I am going to grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. Good luck to you, Ms. Chapman.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
I'm going to point out something. Some of my best reverse Karen moments have been in drive-throughs, or it's mostly in restaurants when people are waiting for a long time for stuff and they start yelling at the person, the child who's working behind the counter. I'm like, you fucked up today. See, now you're going to get berated by me in front of this child and your food's still going to take longer. I am exceedingly nice to staff wherever I go. I think T-Rex, would you agree? What did she do? She was bitching at her. She first was bitching at her under her breath, like, oh my God, is this taking any longer? And then she's like, this better be fucking right. I'm fucking sick of this. And I was just like, and then she's like, you guys, and then it gets me when they get personal. She was like, she said somebody was dumb or something like that. And I was like, you know what? Here's the thing. You can fucking go get your food anywhere you want, or you can just shut up and wait for it. Those are your two choices. Don't be a bitch. I did that in a Dairy Queen one time too. And the lady was like, what the fuck? And I was like, what the fuck is wrong in your life that you decided to come out to Dairy Queen where people get ice cream and happiness and yell at a teenager? That was never going to be okay. I just always and it always happens at places when people are just so, like, obviously overworked and understaffed. And I'm just like, you know, this is going to be the case when you walk in here, when you order this. This is your choice that you made. So don't fuck up like that. A dismissal should count for that. That's called like a medium D or a little D. But when we get the big D, that's everything getting dismissed, by the way. And there's my ADHD rather, flipping us round and round. Anyway, sorry. I have many stories of me going reverse Karen on people and never staff. Keep that in mind. Like, I'm never because I get angry sometimes, but I really don't. I talk to people in lineups. I don't get upset at things like that. And I just know what I'm getting. Like, if I'm gonna go sit in the McDonald's drive-thru or go walk in and wait for the food and watch these poor teenagers working their asses off, I'm just not cool with people yelling at them for that. And sometimes they'll look at me, and I usually make a real point. Oh, one time I did the tipping thing where this lady was just being rude as fuck, and I just like walked up and started tipping into the tip jar, and she was like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I'm gonna keep going until you stop. Just fucking shut up. Like, you are more annoying than them. Shut your fucking mouth." It's just frustrating. One time I was in a Starbucks and this lady was embarrassed about her order. And she berated the girl for yelling out what her order was. She was like, I've got a venti blah 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 blah. And the lady was like, oh, why the fuck would you yell that out? And I was just like, oh, well, hold on. Why the fuck would you order that? You don't get to come and order that shit, make them make it, and then be embarrassed to fucking pick it up. That's not how that works. Maybe that's how it works at your Starbucks, and not at my Starbucks. Not when I'm there. Anyways. Yeah. Don't piss me off. Like, you can piss me off about me, and I'm not going to fight with people about that, but I really don't take abuse of, like, people that are working and doing their jobs. I really don't like that. Anyways, let's continue on. I think Judge D dismisses so much not out of a reverse Karen love, like I have maybe, but his own, like, really strict law interpretation that he uses. Yeah. Oh, Sashina, that is so sweet. You gave him 11 chicken nuggies when he ordered 6. You're not listening, McDonald's daddy. Don't worry about it. Listen, I was a bank teller and I used to, like, fucking smooth people's lives out. when, like back in the day when they used to hold checks, they still hold checks. Nobody gets checks. But back in the day when you used to get a check, you could have $100 for like 10 days. Or if you got me or the right person, you could have your money right away. I loved that job. Okay. Yeah, total regular, of course. There was people I would have at the bank that would literally be like, no, they'll wait an hour to see me. They're like, nope, just take her time. I'm in no rush. No rush at all. In Canada, here's a fun fact about checks, which we spell CHEQUE. Um, they are, you can write them on anything. Um, so like on a piece of paper, as long as you include the coding information, you can put it on a piece of paper, a napkin, cloth. If it's readable and like has all the factors that a check needs, then you have to accept that check. So that's annoying. But it definitely doesn't have to be on a check. As long as it has all the routing information and everything you need, you can do it. So, anyways, let's continue.
And Ms. Flores, all right, what's your name?
Trinity Frazier.
Miss Fraser. Give me just a moment. All right, Ms. Frazier, you are charged with 1 count of aggravated assault, which is a felony, and 1 count of aggravated battery, which is a felony. I am going to grant a bond of $15,000 on each charge. So your total bond is $30,000. You have special condition of your bond to not have any contact with Aldreas or Aldrace Thompson. Let me see here. Did this have the place where this happened? Is that where you live?
Yes,
And does he? It looks like he does not stay there. Is that correct?
correct.
Okay, got it. All right, so I'm not going to put a stay away from your place because that's where you live, not where he stays. So, just make sure you do not have any contact with that individual. Okay.
Okay.
Your next court date is on September the 25th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
You guys can provide the attorney.
I'm sorry?
You can provide the attorney.
Okay.
Like in Canada, please and thank you. They're called the magic words.
All right. I will grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions about your case?
No,
Okay. Good luck to you.
thank you.
Next.
All right. What's your name?
Lawrence.
Miss Lawrence. Just a moment. Miss Lawrence, you are charged with 1 count of simple battery. That is a misdemeanor. I'm going to grant a bond of $2,000. And you do have special condition of your bond to not have any contact with Tamarick Wynn. Okay, so do not have any contact with Tamarick Wynn. Also, as I stated earlier, sometimes I have to put a no, stay away from a certain location as well. So you do have special condition of your bond to not go back to 701 Mount Zion Road, apartment 2004. However, I am putting in your bond that you can make an appointment with the sheriff's office to go there, and if you need to get any personal belongings, you can, or you can always have somebody get some personal belongings for you if that's what you need to do. If you don't need to do that, great. Now, these conditions are only in place for as long as this order stands. You can have your attorney file a motion to modify your bond conditions, or if your case resolves, some of those conditions may be modified or taken away altogether. Now, your next court date is going to be on September the 26th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I'd like to be what you just said, the last part, your attorney.
Oh, a court-appointed attorney?
Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. Okay, I will grant that request for you, Ms. Lawrence. Do you have any questions about your case?
No.
Okay, all right. You probably do have questions just based on how, maybe the circumstances and stuff, but again, it's better served for your lawyer down the road and not here, okay? All right, well, good luck to you, Ms. Lawrence.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Colin, I'm sorry that happens to you. Actually, we don't sleep shame here ever. We don't kink shame and we don't sleep shame. So that means you can always have to go to sleep if you need sleep, and you can always stay up late and we don't even ask you why. It's fun. Um, I imagine I'll be getting back into some late night streams soon. You all know that I'm moving eventually. So part of me is packing up. Of course you want to yeah, for sure, Colin. When's your next thing coming up? You guys, I haven't added Colin yet. Definitely not Cromwell. Definitely lots of letters in that name, Colin. But good channel and absolutely somebody to check out. Sashina was on there too. Sashina's a little court hopping channel. No, I'm just joking, Sashina. I love it. And I don't have any mods, so you have to come direct to the big boss. That's me. And Colin, thank you so much. Go right ahead and post whatever's on your mind in the chat. And you guys should definitely check him out. I'm pretty sure we have a pretty overlapping viewership at this point, which is great. They're cool people. It's a traveling chat of fun people. What I was gonna say was, oh yeah, sleep shaming. We don't do any sleep shaming, so that's good too. Hi again, Denali Mike. Are the writers and actors still on strike? I think they are. There's somebody else in a different Discord or chat that mentioned, I think they are. I don't know. We will see. Ooh, that's what I was going to say. So we're going to watch this, and then at the end of this, we're going to play a different version of Wordle where I am in control of it, but the chat's going to help me. We'll do it together. There will be points awarded for this Wordle, so stay tuned for that, especially if you like word games. And that will be our Fun Day Sunday. Oh, Crystal's here. Welcome, Familia. What's up, Familia? Que pasa? Right? Is that it? See, I don't even know. 4 years. Still can't speak Spanish. And like I said before, if you hate Streamlabs because he's a jerk and he's posting all the time, go ahead and block him and you can unblock later, just so you know. But I will warn you, sometimes people are like, how do I unblock him? I'm like, it's harder to find out. Oh, you need to add Taser. That's right, Glitterfart. I'll do some more at the end when we're not streaming video. I can probably use the commands thing. That is a good question. Mike, do you drive an actual Denali? I love me Denali. Good cars.
All right,
I
what's
like
your name?
Danita Yvonne Taylor.
All right, thank you, Miss Taylor. I was able to hear you very clearly, so I appreciate that. Let me just see here. All right, so Ms. Taylor, you were charged with one count of, oh, I see. One count giving a false name and date of birth. That is a misdemeanor. I am going to grant a bond of $1,500. And one count of unlawful conduct during 911 call, I am going to grant a bond of $1,500. So your total bond is $3,000. Okay. Now, your next court date is going to be on September the 26th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to, you do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Your Honor, I would like a court-appointed attorney, please.
Okay. All right, Ms. Taylor, I will grant that request for you. Now, do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir. I will state my questions once I get the lawyer. I don't want to waste your time.
That's a very wise thing for you to do, Ms. Taylor. I appreciate that because some people can't help themselves and want to talk to me and it does them no good. So I appreciate that. All right, Ms. Taylor, good luck to you. Let's not see you back here again, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a blessed day.
Yes, ma'am, you too.
Last one. Ms. Troutman.
All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Traviana Troutman.
All right, Ms. Trout.
Say what, girl? She's got nice hair. Is that a wig?
All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Traviana Troutman.
All right, Ms. Troutman.
Is she saying her last name's Chow Mein? Is this hello? Also, thank you, Melanie. Boo Boo, Melanie. We're all boo boos here together. Maybe that'll be the name of our members once we get there. Seriously, all I hear him say is chow mein. Is he saying chow mein?
All right, what's your name, ma'am?
Traviana Troutman.
All right, Ms. Troutman, you are charged with one count of criminal trespass, misdemeanor, the bond is $1,000, and one count of simple battery, family violence, misdemeanor, the bond is $2,000. So your total bond is $3,000. Now you do have special conditions of your bond to not have any contact with Patricia Butler and Rashante Butler. Now I know that's your family. But until that bond condition is changed or your case is resolved, don't have any contact with them. And then also do not return back to the 6430 Briarwood Court address in Riverdale. Now, just like I told the other person, if you need to get some belongings from there, you can either A, have somebody get those belongings for you, or B, you can go make arrangements through the sheriff's department and they will go with you to make sure that nothing happens to you or nothing happens to anybody at that residence. Your next court date is going to be on September the 26th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do? I'm sorry?
Do you want a court-appointed attorney? Do you want to see if you qualify? She said yes, Your Honor.
Okay, all right. It's I'm going to grant that request for you, Ms. Troutman. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, where you are, these things can become very serious. I understand that, you know, family gets on your nerves and things happen and things are said and things are done, and it's not necessarily indicative of anyone's behavior as a whole, but in certain circumstances, it can be really bad looking at a snapshot of it. In the grand scheme of things, that you're going to make it past this and it will be relatively okay. But that's when you have your lawyer, y'all discuss defenses, and they can take any evidence that you may have to the prosecutor's office for mitigating factors and things of that nature, okay? In the grand scheme of things, it's not that bad, right? It's still bad enough because, of where you are. So let's not make light of the situation. But, you're a young adult. You have to learn, hopefully this is a wake-up call for you, that when you're in a situation that is whether it's your fault, you started it or not, it doesn't really matter to a certain extent, that you have to learn how to deal with these types of situations and not end up where you are right now. So maybe that means removing yourself from the situation, and things like that, okay? So don't be too hard on yourself. It happens. But you will get through it. Just let the process play itself out, okay? All right, do you have any questions? Okay, all right, Ms. Troutman, good luck to you, and let's not see you back in these circumstances, okay? All right. All right, that's all the females that I have.
Yes, that is all the females, Your Honor.
All right, very good.
It's a good time to remind everybody, please clock in for your shift by hitting the like button down below if you're just getting here. Tell us what you had for dinner. Dana, I saw, welcome. Melanie, Yamabu, of course. What was I gonna say? Take your meds. Oh, what a great reminder. Oh yeah, take your meds. And then Sushina, I had a brilliant idea. Okay. It's probably not good for, it would be an older student activity, but, ooh, shepherd's pie and homemade devil's food cake. That sounds good. But imagine if, as a fun writing exercise, I love writing little short stories, but I find it difficult to do that for no reason or whatever. But I think a little fun writing group would be fun. And what we could do is pick these like cases like this where we get like a tiny snippet of information. Like she's crying, she's sobbing, she can't meet with her family anymore. What was the event? And then we sort of make it from there under a few paragraphs. I think that could be very fun. Anyways, now that's recorded at least, so I won't forget that. I don't even have to write it down. That does sound yummy. I did say med check. Med check means take your meds if you've got them. If you don't have them, come on down. Tell us what that's like. It's also 420 time. It's always 420 somewhere. So go ahead and tell me what kind of 420 what strain is on your brain. That's what I usually say. Perfect, Sushina. That's awesome. I appreciate that. And what else was I gonna say? The men are up now. Oftentimes, so let's just recap. We've had one dismissal thus far. If you're just joining us, this is Big D in Clayton County, Georgia. Also, Clayton County is contiguous, but Presto sent me or posted a picture of it in the Discord. And I think the way I do it is like this, but in reality, it sort of pokes right into Fulton County. So, which means it touches Fulton County. Oh, search for spot pork chops with collard greens, some slap ya mama cornbread made with Alabama cornmeal and beans. Love it. The beans that I had yesterday were delicious, and I have packaged them up so that I can use the Instant Pot again soon. That's the hardest part for me, is like making a big batch of something and not leaving it in the Instant Pot, but I did a good job yesterday. Hector's vaping Tropical Storm. Love to see it. Lisa B has Northern Rack at home. You can't vape while driving? Of course not. No, never. Let's continue. Let's see what that's what I was gonna say. Sometimes we hear when they're like, yeah, I was talking to your lady before, or I already talked to somebody else about this situation. Those ones, again, a great fodder for a writing prompt, I think. Anyways, let's continue. Oh, corned beef hash eggs, Bruce Davis said.
All right, sir, what's your name? Hold on a second. Where's your
He should be number 15.
what's his name?
Gerard Owens.
Oh, Owens. Oh, we're going out of order. Do we not have Anderson?
He has to go back to medical.
Oh, okay, I got you. All right, Mr. Owens, give me just a second, sir. I've got them in alphabetical order, so all right, Mr. Owens.
D is confused. He needs Larry. He needs Larry helping him.
No, just need
Misty Gainey had grilled ribs, corn on the cob, coleslaw. Nice. So is
All
that
right,
how you
Mr.
say your name,
Owens,
Christy?
you've got two charges that are let me see, when did these okay, back in July, being aggravated battery, which is a felony. The bond is 75,000, and one theft by taking, I believe that's a misdemeanor. The bond is 1,000. Then you have charges that just occurred. Theft by taking, the bond misdemeanor, the bond is 1,000. Driving on the wrong side of the road, the bond is 500. Reckless driving, misdemeanor, the bond is 2,000. Fleeing and eluding from police, I believe that's a felony charge. The bond is 5,000. Obstruction of an officer, the bond is 1,000. Possession of a marijuana less announced, the bond is 1,000. Violation of Georgia Controlled Substances Act, that's a felony, the bond is 2,000. Another count of VGCSA, the bond is use or possession of drug-related objects, the bond is 5,000. Hit and run, the bond is 1,000. So your total bond is going to be 75, 76, 78, 79, 80, 85, 86, 87, 90, 91, 92.
Okay, scratch the first writing prompt idea. Here's a better writing prompt idea. Two people in chat who are friends and boo-boos. Let's just say boo-boos. One of those boo-boos mistakes a very obvious misspelling of their own name for another person and becomes jealous of that person. And that's what, like, wouldn't that be so funny? Elaine Copeland? I'm dying laughing watching that chat go down.
If I did this correctly, your total bond is $92,000, but you'll get a copy of the form and you can add it up if you need to. Also, you do have a special condition to not have any contact with Akia Broughton, so do not have any contact with that person. Your next court date is going to be on September the 25th. If you do not bond out, but if you do bond out, then you will not need to appear for that particular court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do? I'm sorry?
I would like one, please.
Okay, got it. All right, Mr. Owens, I will grant that request. Do you have any questions about your case?
Also,
Okay, all right, good luck to you, sir.
appreciate it.
Hi, Loud Elvis. Thanks for being here. I don't, but maybe Sashina would be so kind as to add that to the list of things for me. On Sashina's last day, not teaching.
All right, what's
Also,
your name, sir?
hi, Ron Mitchell.
Anderson.
All right, Mr. Anderson, you were charged with one felony count of terrorist
Viva
threats. Bond is going to be 5,000. You do have not have any contact with Zoe Creighton. Next court date is going to be on September the 25th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court-appointed attorney.
Okay. You guys, I don't know if y'all are standing a little bit far away. Just make sure you guys speak up just a little bit louder so I can hear you, okay? All right, I will grant that request. All right, do you have any questions about your case?
No.
Okay, all right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you. I'll be there.
All right.
If you know where you're going, you can go back.
Mhm.
You know where you're going?
All right.
Okay, that reminds me of the story, which, first of all, this is my pen holder, and it's a perfect little spot. Secondly, I have obvious ADHD, and one time, many times, I guess that's a bit of a spoiler for the story, but I set up a TikTok intending to do TikToky things. I did a little bit and then sort of stopped. But one time I was scrolling TikTok and you know how they recommend you people or whatever? And I was like, look at this. This person fucking just literally looks like they're stealing the entire idea of my fucking TikTok. It's the same fucking profile picture. I go to it and I'm like, oh my God, it's my TikTok that I had already started. It was recommended to me, and I had forgotten that I had already started a TikTok with it. So I understand the experience, Melanie. I literally was like fucking mad. I was like, who the fuck stole that? And I was just like baffled. And then I'm like, oh, it's me. Okay, right. I enjoy TikTok for a few different things. Most of it is like dog, like Bluebell related videos and stuff. But the funniest part for me is most of them have Court in the background if you listen to the raw video, because I'm always listening to Court anyways. And so I literally, and there are some videos that are funny only to me, and it'll be like I remember one specifically of Judge Conlon, and he was reading out a sentence, and for some reason Bluebell, like I caught her looking out the window, and as soon as he read the sentence, she turned her head, and I was just like, oh, it's fucking perfection. But nobody fucking got it. They're just like, no, we don't like that. So, anyways, and remember, she's just I'm her auntie. It's my sister's dog, so I don't get to see her all the time. But um. Maybe I'll post that video in the Discord. I'll find it and post it in the Discord. I gotta figure out which email I made it with. Cachette, you've been here. You're here. You've been here. You're here. Lisa's never been on TikTok. That's probably not a bad thing, Lisa. You're above Tinder, Melanie. Yeah, I don't do Tinder anymore. I did that a few times. We could have some fun on Tinder if we all wanted to, swiping through my Tinder. People have suggested that to me before. Meh. I mean, it's like geolocation, and I'm not really into having weirdo people near me. You know, like, I'll go on chat roulette, but we don't need to have like my neighbors matching with me on Tinder so that I can roast them and their pickup lines on my YouTube channel.
Thank you.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Robert Banks.
All right, Mr. Banks, you are charged with one count of simple battery. The bond is, which is a misdemeanor, the bond is $4,000. One count of false imprisonment, that's a felony charge, the bond is $4,000. And then one count of criminal trespass, the bond is $1,000. For a total bond of $9,000. Now you do have a special condition of your bond to not have any contact with Martana or Martana Banks. Also, you're not allowed to return back to the 2604 Carnes Crossing Way in Jonesboro. Now, if you need to get any belongings from there, I have marked that you are allowed to make arrangements with the sheriff's department and they'll go with you to get any belongings. Or you can have someone get your belongings for you. And this is only in place until your case is resolved or your attorney files a motion to modify your bond conditions, okay? Your next court date is going to be on September the 25th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Consider for a court appointed attorney, please.
Okay, all right, I will grant that request for you, Mr. Banks. Do you have any questions about your case?
Not at this time, no.
Okay, all right, Mr. Banks, good luck to you.
Thank you.
He's
Robin
going there
Banks.
because you have to be escorted. The journey intake.
Go in here.
Mhm.
What's your name?
Hold up, Bashir.
Mr. Bashir, you are charged with one count of misdemeanor assault. The bond is 10,000. One misdemeanor count of obstruction. The bond is 1,000. And one misdemeanor count of possession of marijuana less than an ounce. The bond is 1,000. So your total bond is $12,000. You do have a special conditions to not have any contact with so your total bond is $12,000. You do have a special conditions to not have any contact with Ridke Eugene, but it doesn't look like you know who that is. So that shouldn't be very difficult for you. Your next court date is going to be on September the 26th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
I understand. I got you. Okay. All right, Mr. Bashir, I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Bashir, good luck to you.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Where's that, Hector, in Discord?
All right, what's your name, sir?
Kevin Hill.
All right, Mr. Hill, you were charged with one count of aggravated assault, which is a felony. The bond is 25,000, and then one misdemeanor count of obstruction. The bond is 1,000. So your total bond is 26,000. You do have a special condition to not have any contact with Maya Taylor, so do not have any contact with that person.
Watching it.
Your next court date is going to be on September the 25th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court appointed attorney. What would you like to?
Court appointed attorney.
Okay.
Hi, Grammy, we're down. Also, bus just arrived. Somebody else just arrived. Please lock in for your shifts.
Spring Valley address, is that where you stay?
What's the address?
The Spring Valley Drive address, that's your residence?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, got it. And is that where Miss Taylor lives as well, or no?
No, she does not live there.
Got it. Okay, just want to make sure. All right. I'm going to grant your request for a court-appointed attorney. Do you have any questions?
No, no, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir. What's your name?
Franklin, Gene Franklin.
All right, Mr. Franklin.
Yes,
You
sir.
are charged with one count of battery misdemeanor. The bond is 5,000. One count misdemeanor driving in the gore. The bond is 1,000. No license misdemeanor. The bond is 1,000. fleeing and eluding. I believe this is the misdemeanor version. Let me check. Yep, bond is 1,000. Obstruction of an officer, 1,500, and giving false name, address, or date of birth, the bond is 1,500. So your total bond, sir, is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11,000. Okay. You
That
do
was
have a
so
special
close.
condition to not have any contact with Chastity Dorsey. So do not have any contact with that person. Your next court date is going to be on September the 26th. But if
Somebody more talented than
you
me.
bond out, you do not need to appear for
Who
that court
fucking
date.
eat pray.
You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Okay.
Okay. Can I talk now? Is that okay? If I talk now? Okay. I almost lost my train of thought. Somebody that is smart than me, computer, would take this 6, 7, 8, and then make it into a song because that would fucking is all I say. I couldn't hit pause quick enough, but 5, 6, 7, we counted it. It's perfect.
Your next court date is going to be on September the 26th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own, but if your next court, you do have a special condition to 1,500 and giving false name, bond is 1,000. Fleeing and eluding. I believe this is the misdemeanor version. Let me check. Yep, bond is 1,000. Obstruction of an officer, 1,500, and giving false name, address, or date of birth, the bond is 1,500. So your total bond, sir, is 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 11,000. Okay. You do have a special condition to not have any contact with Chastity Dorsey. So do not have any contact with that person. Your next court date is going to be on September the 26th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
I think I just try to give me an attorney for now.
I'm sorry?
Speak clear.
You could appoint me to an attorney until I get out so I can figure it out, sir.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate it.
All right. Any other questions?
No, so far, thank you.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
You have a good day.
All right. All right. What's your name, sir?
It's Malik Johnson.
Mr. Johnson. Oh, looks like you just have some traffic offenses. Possession of marijuana less than an ounce, misdemeanor, the bond is $1,000. Defective headlights, the bond is $500. No license, the bond is $1,000. Brake lights, $500, and then violation of seatbelt. I'm actually going to change that to 100. Give me just a second. I'll change this to 100. I'll change this to 100. Okay, let me start over. All right, you're charged with one count of misdemeanor marijuana. The bond is $1,000. Defective headlights, I'm changing it from 500 to 100. No license, 1,000. Brake light violation, I'm changing it from 500 to 100. And then seatbelt from 500 to 100. So, so your total bond is 2,300 instead of 3,000. So 2,300 is your total. Yeah, save you about $1,200 right there. All right. Your next court date is going to be on September the 26th, 9/26. But if you bond out, you do not have to appear for that court date. Okay. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
What attorney?
Okay. All right, I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, sir.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thanks, please.
All right, what's your name, sir? All right, sir, you're charged with one count of pedestrian in a walkway, misdemeanor, the bond is 500. One felony count of trafficking, the bond is 30,000. One count of possession of a weapon during commission of a crime, the bond is 15,000. And one count of theft by receiving stolen property, the bond is 15,000. So your total bond is $60,500. Your next court date is September the 25th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Be appointed until I get out.
Okay, that's fine. All right, do you have any questions about your case?
No.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Good night, Claire.
You can go back. He's housing it for.
All right, what's your name, sir?
Shahid Mustafa, Your Honor.
All right, sir, you are charged with one count of simple battery, which is a misdemeanor. The bond is going to be $2,000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. You do have a special condition to not have any contact with Miss Simone Mustafa. Let's see. Also, do not return back to the 1738 Port West Way address. I am putting in your bond paperwork that you are allowed to go back, but you have to make arrangements with the sheriff's department to get any belongings if you need to get anything. If you don't need to get anything, then that's fine. Or you can always have somebody get your belongings for you until your case is resolved or an attorney files a motion to modify the bond conditions. Okay. Your next court date is going to be on September the 26th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court appointed.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mustafa, I will grant that request for you. Do you have any questions about your case?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, Mr. Mustafa, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. You guys know.
All right, what's your name? All right, sir. You were charged with one misdemeanor count of obstruction. The bond is 1,000. One misdemeanor count of fleeing from police. The bond is 1,500. One count of theft by receiving stolen property. Give me just a second. I am dismissing the theft by receiving stolen property charge. Okay. Now here's the thing. I don't know if you heard me tell, there was a lady where I dismissed her charge. The statute of limitations is 4 years. Okay. On a felony, if I'm not mistaken. That charge may come back if more evidence is presented to another judge or the prosecuting office gathers more evidence about that. The reason why I'm dismissing that is because there's no victim listed. So I don't know who allegedly that car belongs to. Maybe it's you, maybe it's a family member. I don't know. Yes. So that's why I'm dismissing it. But don't be surprised if that charge comes back up. I'm not going to tell anybody to. That's not my place. My place is just evaluate the charges as they come before me. So they didn't put that information, so I'm kicking it. and then you have a stop sign violation, the bond is $500, okay? So your total bond is $3,000 total, okay? I'll have to enter an order dismissing that charge against you, but that'll be done when I submit the bond paperwork with my signature on it, okay? So you no longer have any felony charges. Well, they say that the eluding is a felony. Okay. Well, we'll bound it up and we'll see what that happens. Your next court date is going to be on the 25th. Actually, you know what? I'm going to make that a misdemeanor because there's not enough there. So now you're only charged with misdemeanors now, okay? Again, I'm only doing what I believe I'm supposed to be doing, but that may change in the future. So I'm just giving you a heads up, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
And I'll be given one?
Well, that's what I'm saying. You filled out this application. I can look at it and see if you qualify.
Yes, sir. That's what I'm trying to do.
Okay. All right. I will go ahead and Grant, hold on a second. Oh, you're born in 2003. Oh, so you just turned 20. Okay, got it. All right. Is it Plowden? Is that how you say your last name?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right, Mr. Plowden, I'm going to grant that request for a court-appointed attorney. I'm sure they'll have conversations with you about this, but I just wanted to give you a heads up, okay? Do you have any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. All right. Good luck to you, sir. Please don't come back. All right. What's your name, sir?
Brian Robbins.
Robbins. You were charged with one misdemeanor count of a tag violation, the bond is $500. One misdemeanor count of loitering or prowling, the bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of theft by taking, the bond is $2,000, and one felony count of identity fraud, the bond is $4,500. So the total bond is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your total bond is $8,000. Okay.
Yes, sir.
All right. Your next court date is going to be on September the 25th. But if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney. You do have special conditions to not have any contact with Susan Gantner or Mohammed Aziz Rahmans. Now, you may not know who those people are, so it'll probably be easy for you to stay away from them. But even if you do know who they are, just don't have any contact with them. And it'll be laid out in the bond order, okay? You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do?
Court-appointed attorney.
Okay. All right, sir. I will grant that request. Do you have any questions?
Yes, sir.
All right. Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
Mhm. What's your name, sir?
Michael Sommer.
All right, Mr. Sommer, you are charged with one misdemeanor count of loitering or prowling. The bond is $1,000. One misdemeanor count of criminal trespass. The bond is $1,000. Oh yes, I remember this. Mr. Sommer, the only special condition of your bond is to not go back to 5701 Jonesboro Road. Just don't go back to that address, okay? I understand that you may have a little bit of trouble and need of resources and things, but I would suggest that if you there are ways of getting resources in the county that may be able to help you out other than just going and kind of, just going places that you're not supposed to be, okay? Next court date is going to be on September the 26th, but if you bond out, you do not need to appear for that court date. You do have the right to hire your own attorney or be considered for a court-appointed attorney. What would you like to do? Okay. Okay. All right. I will grant that request for you, Mr. Sommer. Do you have any questions?
What was the court date again?
September the 26th. But if you bond out, you don't have to go to that court date. You'll get another date in the mail. Okay.
Okay, and my bond is set at what, sir?
$2,000 total.
Okay.
All right, any other questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
All right, that's all that I have.
Yes, that is it, Your Honor. You have a good rest of your weekend.
All right, thank you. Take care.
I've been muted too. I was saying, oh, I don't need that fucking strike, and I caught it just in time. Sorry guys. I am trying my darndest to be on screen while Streamlabs is doing its thing. All the fun commands that we have tonight are great, but they are putting Streamlabs through the ringer. So, what we're going to watch next is actually something that was sent by Hector, and so you have to give me 1 minute while I get the video behind the scenes. You must be able to see me now, I'm sure. Yes. So what we are going to get now is what did you coin? Hector coined it as a guy got in trouble trying to sneak in contraband in his hair, which let me just say immediately what I think of is always a Gem Marbles reference. This Gem Marbles reference is when she braided stuff into her hair to see if she could. And she was like braiding her keys, her hair, and everything. And so this is quite funny. A for cleavage. Okay, so that's what I thought of. Now what I'm going to go to, because I probably, this is the problem, right? Like I'm signed in on 62 different devices. And what I need to do is play this. It's extremely unprofessional. Spiritual guide. Yeah, that's right. Okay. So now I've played it there. It'll be in my history, and that's where I'll go on the computer. What Angela Davis pew pew in her throat? No, I'm not old enough to remember. Computer hates me. Okay, 1 second. Oh, Mayor, thanks for being here. I'm sorry. I missed the opportunity to say 6'9". So once again, there was actually fun for us to watch. And also some other great things on your channel, and it linked on the page. The screen capture. Oh, yeah, we gotta go to the other screen. So.
All right, Mr. Diaz, position 8.
All right, I muted it before for safety. We were starting shit before, so we gotta start it again.
All right, Mr. Diaz, position 8. I'm sorry, I have another victim. I'll get to that victim in just a moment. All right, Mr. Diaz, you're before the court under 3 warrants that were issued, and the warrants began with 23W014509. The first warrant states that on Memorial Drive, you committed the offense of criminal trespass, remain on the property of DeKalb County Jail. You're also charged with crossing the state or county guard lines. And I do want to address this because it's going to be impacting my bond. It says you had allegedly were trying to bring into the jail multiple items wrapped inside of your hair, 4 lighters, 6 chargers, 1 bottle of black tattoo ink, 1 bottle of oil, 6 toothpicks, 2 black charger cords, 6 marijuana cigarettes, 3 incense, 2 AAA batteries, 1 pair of scissors, 3. All that was in your hair, 3 candles, 4 packs of marijuana, 5 tobacco leaf products, and 1 cigarette paper package. And then, wow. And then possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute. It says you had 4 plastic wrapped packs of marijuana in your hair with possession with the intent to distribute. Let me see. Wow. I'm sorry. I got to zoom in on you. Okay. Yeah, you do have full hair. Okay. So.
Okay, would it be appropriate to anybody else right now if they cut his hair? Like, I think that might be an appropriate punishment. Like, you lost your right to come to jail with hair because of that. That was a lot, dude. That's not just a little bit. That's a lot. It's the guy standing at the podium. She's not zoomed in very much. I don't know what she zoomed, but he didn't become any bigger in my mind. But, well, I'll try and make it a little bit bigger. But you can't see. I mean, he's just standing far away. That's as big as I can make it. And he's just not. Anyways, how did they take it all out? What I want to know. Because, like, as a mother, but also somebody with, like, have had long hair, do you, like, my hair won't hold a curl, okay? It is straight as fuck. It's just straight all the time. And so, to me, it's so crazy to think, like, even my hair right now, which is pretty, like, I had it just, whatever. Did they find it all, Sushina? How would they know it's in there? He's not gonna he's not gonna admit to it. Anyways, even like I don't understand. Was it in his hair like that? Like I'm again drawn back to the Jenna Marbles video because she spent a great amount of time tying this stuff into her hair as a joke, but it was like obvious that it was in her hair. So I'm a little bit oh, and the weird things like 6 charger cables, chargers, like what do they got plugs? You don't think they would just take away the plugs? You're gonna ruin it for everybody. I mean, seriously, it's just not. Uh, it's like when I heard that they were like dipping papers in rat poison and sending it for people to get high. I was like, oh my God, no, don't do that. It's just not good. But even wrapped in his dreads, how does he still have them? Wouldn't they have had to like, was it poorly done? Was it well done and caught? I have questions. Hi, Sean. Welcome. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's craziness. Also, I'll try and close the bet. I can't do it until later. So, yeah. Interesting point, Richard.
Looking at your criminal history, June 2000, you have 6 cycles. They're all pending. You were doing well in life, and all of a sudden this stuff starts coming up. June 2023, 2 counts of disorderly conduct and obstruction. July 2023, 2 counts of criminal trespass and another criminal trespass in August 2023. And pretty much this is just asserting that you had all these objects in your hair and attempting to cross guard lines and bring him into the jail. With that being said, Ms. Broussard, I'll hear from the state, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. I think it's important to highlight for the court that on his last criminal trespass from August, Your Honor, he was released on the 17th of this month, Your Honor. So he has not been out of custody for a little more than a week, Your Honor, and is now before the court on felony charges. Judge, the facts and circumstances.
Hold on. Hold on. I have way bigger questions then. He was out of jail less than a week. Exactly. He wasn't smuggled. See, they're going to have a problem with this, right? You can't, I don't know. The search and seizure and then the crossing of guard lines is a really difficult law to prove because somebody's not in control of their own stuff as soon as they're arrested. And so it's not usually fair to blame somebody for trying to for having something concealed that they don't necessarily admit to because they don't have to talk to law enforcement. That's not their job. So there's this weird sort of balance that has to be drawn between an appropriate search and seizure at the time of arrest versus charging somebody with an intentional trying to smuggle things into the jail. I would be more concerned that if that is the only thing he was arrested for, like, was that what they said, that that was the original charge? And he was just walking around with that in his hair? Again, why would they, like, sounds like he wanted back in jail. That sounds a little sneaky to me. Again, I don't know. So it seems like a lot of work to smuggle stuff into jail by getting arrested. In the US justice system, that seems like a very dicey game to play. If he was visiting the jail and then caught trying to smuggle it in, that would be a little different. And that would be much more intentional if he was just a visitor. But like my point is, if he was arrested with all of that in his hair, it's sometimes hard to prove the intent to cross the guard lines with contraband because they are not, like I explained before with the arrest part. So, and I've only heard that on other sort of cases that are similar to this in a way, like the smuggling of different contraband into penal facilities, because it is, unfortunately very common and something that is important to the safety and security of inmates and staff, that you have a lockdown on things. But these are a lot of different things. It's like he was like how much do you think he was going to get? Like, it's so baffling to me why it would be worth it to try and smuggle that in versus just try and like hustle in a different way. Like, that's a mad hustle. That's mad hustle even for me. That's a ride or die guy. Like, you guys need some shit, fam. I'm going to the store next week when I get out of jail. You want me to bring anything back next time I come? What is that? How that conversation went?
Are concerning to the state, particularly since it states that it's suspected that he was intentionally trying to get arrested to distribute the items inside of the jail. Judge, he does only have misdemeanor criminal history. However, that misdemeanor criminal history is all within the last 5 to 6 months, Your Honor. So it is
Hector says, who walks around with all that stuff in their hair? Who goes around and tries to get arrested to sell shit in jail? That is the worst small business idea I've ever heard in my life. Seriously. Sir, you seem to have a tiny bit of like oomph. We could get you some. God. Oh. Oh my gosh.
concerning to the state, and the state does believe that a bond in the amount of $8,000 to $10,000, and do not return to the Dunkin' Donuts.
Exactly. Okay, sharks. Here's my business proposition. I will recruit people all over the country to learn the intricate method of braiding their hair, to include necessary prison items, and then teach them how to get arrested. I have not made a profit yet, but I expect to in Q2 of next year. And we have angel investors that are already interested in this. But snitches get stitches, so I can't tell you who. Boo boo.
That's listed in a criminal trespass warrant is appropriate in this case.
Dunkin' Donuts? I'm sorry.
Yes, sure. He has a criminal trespass warrant as well, Judge. That's where he was originally arrested for these charges and was being brought into the jail.
Oh, okay. Let me just look at that again. Let's see.
What business proposition do you have for us, Mike?
Oh, okay. I see there was a disturbance at that Memorial Drive. I got you. Okay. I was like, wait, what? Okay. All right. Who's this could be, Ms. Rafal? I'll hear from you, please. Okay.
All right, so Mr. Diaz is quite young. He is only 21. He's originally from Chicago. He only moved to Georgia about 5 months ago. He does currently work as a spiritual teacher. So how that works is he logs into an app and other people will log on and watch him speak so he can coach them through their traumas and teach them self-love and provide.
Sorry, what? Oh my God, this couldn't have got any better. So, hold on. You're telling me the money is so bad being a spiritual teacher that it is preferable to facilitate your own arrest to I think we need to recap what was in his hair really quickly because there was an astounding amount of contraband that this gentleman tried to smuggle into the jail a week after being arrested. Now, the lawyer here is obviously, first of all, she's an intern, bless her heart. Everybody has to learn, and that's good. But she's going through the Ayala factors in Georgia, which are the factors related to bond and release that we hear them go through all the time. We hear it with Judge Manning. We hear it with all the Clayton County judges. We hear it here as well. And so they follow a standard pattern and they have to look at the best they've got. So she's going, he's young and he's a spiritual teacher. Again, let's just keep in mind, he's trying to smuggle batteries, chargers, tattoo ink, weed, incense. He did want to bring incense. He wanted 2 sticks of incense to bring into the jail. Now, they didn't mention a cell phone to do his spiritual teaching from. So does he already have that in jail? Was that why he needs to get back in? Because that's still in the jail? I'm really confused. I know he's a tattoo artist, but I also happen to know that tattoo artists can do pretty good on the outside too, okay? Yeah, Mikey, you're already in a cult, remember? This case says, welcome guys, thank you for being here. Please clock in for your shift by hitting the like button. Let's hear the rest of his Ayala factors and see. I want to hear what he does. I really hope she gives us a monthly here.
He's originally from Chicago. He only moved to Georgia about 5 months ago. He does currently work as a spiritual teacher. So how that works is he logs into an app and other people will log on and watch him speak so he can coach them through their traumas and teach them self-love and provide these sort of services for them. And he can provide a more individualistic approach depending on the person. He has also taken it upon himself to go about in his community and offer help to those in need out on the streets. So he'll offer food and water to the homeless or just advice or someone to listen. So even though he's only been in Georgia a short amount of time, he has become very important in his community and is being greatly missed there right now. And due to the altruistic nature of a lot of his work, he's unable to afford the bond the state is asking for. He would ask for nothing higher than $1,000, preferably cash, and he is willing to comply with any conditions the court sees fit to impose.
A little bit of a situation that's different. So, okay, I'm this isn't the typical guard line situation where people are outside with the bag and they're trying to, get items in a bag to an inmate. He was at, I don't know about the peaceful part, but anyway, he was at Dunkin' Donuts Memorial Drive. He was causing a disturbance. They asked him to leave. He refused to leave. And then they took him into custody. When they took him into custody, that's when they found all of these objects in his hair. So it's a little bit different. He was just doing his thing with all this stuff. And so I look at this really differently from the guys, because it's not like he said, oh, I'm going to go to jail today and have batteries, incense, tattoos, marijuana. It's a little bit different. Should he have said, oh, to the jail, oh, hey, I've got all this marijuana in my hair. I don't believe I don't know. This is a different case. This is different from what I initially thought, that he was outside the guard lines trying to give, what's it called? They try to give someone a bag that has all the contraband in it. This is, he was at a place causing a disturbance, refused, and his hair was already full, or I don't know, had all these items already in it. So I'm looking at this case a little bit different. But anyway, what's your recommendation? I don't know about the peaceful part, because he was being disruptive and he would have just left. He would have never gotten arrested. But so what's your recommendation on bond? And how long did you say he's been here?
He's been in Georgia about 5 months, and we'd ask for $1,000 cash bond.
Let's see. 1,000 cash, that's equivalent to a 10,000 regular bond. I don't think I'd go that high. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's hard. $1,000 regular bond would be 100 through a bonding company, but if you're asking for 1,000 cash, that's equivalent to a 10,000, and I wouldn't do. I think that's a lot. So let me just look again. This is a unique case. I just haven't had one like this. Yeah. So he just got here. He's got a lot.
Okay. We will 1000% be attempting to put all of these like items in my hair at one point soon. I'm definitely going to do that. This is craziness. How do you walk around like that? You can't tell me there's no. Yeah, no. Like, what is going on in this world that the judge is like, oh wow, we just caught him on a bad day when his hair wallet was full. Your hair wallet? What? And then, I'm sorry, didn't you mention that he already has a fucking, no trespass at the Dunkin' Donuts, and he went to the Dunkin' Donuts and caused a scene invoking the no trespass order? Ma'am, maybe you should be watching what he's doing in prison or in jail, because that's a little crazy. Like, maybe what he wanted was to be right where you got him. But it seems odd to me, like, that it would either be like, what her whole weighing of this, to me, is based upon if it's well hidden or not. Like, if it was well hidden ahead of time, that screams premeditation to me. Leave the D's to Dan. Fine.
Disorderly. I don't, sir, you're presenting to your attorney that you're the spiritual guy, but you've got 3 disorderly conducts pending: obstruction, criminal trespass. I have to beg to differ that you don't appear to be a peaceful person in the community so far. You're having a lot of problems. So you're already out, as the state said. So criminal trespass, remain on the property, refuse to leave, is going to be 500. And I'm going to trespass you, so you'll be prepared to sign the special conditions. Let's see, the second charge,
Are munchkins those like mini donut holes? Because in Canada we call those Timbits from Tim Hortons. But they're like circle donuts, little tiny ones. Because that's, yeah, we don't have Dunkin' Donuts. So. Timbits. Yes, I love Timbits. They're so good. I like the jelly filled ones the best.
Of crossing the guard lines. That one's just a little, I guess responsibly, he should have known he couldn't go to jail with those. I don't know what his rights were. Anyway, I'm not getting into that, but 1,500 because there was a lot of contraband being taken into jail when he knew he was being taken into custody. And the possession of the marijuana with the intent to distribute 4 bags in his hair. This one's bizarre. I'll do 1,500 on that too, because there were small amounts they said in his hair. Let me just look at the amounts that they said anyway. Give me one moment, please.
We already knew that. You're right.
Oh, there's a different note here. So there's a note putting here that he may have intentionally packaged those items so he could get arrested and distribute those in jail. I don't know how. That's a presumption. That's a big presumption. A leap of a presumption. But anyway, so I'm going to change based on that note that because he was recently released, they perceive that that's what he's doing. So the crossing guard lines will be 2,000. And the possession of marijuana with the intent to distribute could be exactly what it is. So that one's going to be 3,000. I'm trying to look at this in a holistic perspective, but it's kind of a challenge. So anyway, the total bond in this case is going to be a $5,500 regular bond, and do not return to Dunkin' Donuts located. What's the address, Ms. Broussard?
Dunkin' Donuts, that is a tragedy.
Just a
They're
street
not
number. I
going
know it's on Memorial Drive.
Yes, give me 1 second, Your Honor. It is, excuse me, it's 4670.
Okay, sir, so I'm trespassing you from Dunkin' Donuts located at 4670 Memorial Drive, and that's in Stone Mountain, Georgia. And also you have a $5,500 regular bond. And that's pretty much it. So you're already out on a lot of charges to say you've only been in our state for 5 months. Somebody's bonding him out. All right. Special conditions have been signed and saved. If you could look over them for me, Ms. Rogers, make sure everything's okay.
Wow, I think honestly that's hilarious. Hector, thank you so much for sending that along. I legit want to go and list out everything that he had in his hair and then just do an attempt, you know? Listen, I didn't realize we'd already gone 2 hours. And so I think what we're going to do is I might come back on a little bit later, but I have a few things to take care of. So we are going to say goodbye now, but I will be back tomorrow for sure. And then possibly later with the word games. But the computer is having some stress. And so it needs a little restart. Anyways, I hope you guys had a wonderful day today. I appreciate all of you being here. And remember to come check out the Discord. I will post the link to the Discord in the chat, and I will be hanging out around there. So please come check it out. And remember that I love you and I'm proud of you, and I will see you tomorrow. All right, I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye. I wish I had guys in a truck that could do things for me. I don't even have a Larry anymore.